Hello everyone, my name is Carly and myself along with Derek, Caitlin, and Greg, as well as our virtual team members Aaron and Liam from Bentley University wanted to know what it meant to be a successful manager. Between the six of us, we analyzed 4 interviews of 4 different managers at different companies asking about their current management positions. We looked at 3 specific aspects of each company, including opportunities and challenges of management, impact of organizational culture within the company, and compared the sizes of each firm. After close analysis and collaboration, we were able to come up with a few conclusions on what it meant to be a successful manager. Taking a closer look at opportunities and challenges of managing, we discovered a few things. Managers have the ability to impact change within the company. They are the mediators between the employees and higher management. As a manager, your say in the company is of more value and easily heard than that of a beginning employee. For example, the manager of the MLB team was able to talk to the players and implement the changes they wanted to see to make their baseball experience the best it could be. As a manager, you have more networking opportunities. So whether you are looking to get a new job at a different company or just wanting to meet a few famous baseball players, being a manager can help. Thirdly, as a manager, you get first-hand experience of watching people grow and mature under your influence. For example, the manager of the St. FX student bar said that he enjoyed watching security and bartenders grow over the years of work and knowing that he helped them and had a positive influence on them. Lastly, being a manager gives you the opportunity to grow as a leader and connect with your employees and grow as a communicator as well.
As we all know, where there are opportunities, there are changes or challenges, and as a manager, there is no exceptions. As a manager, you go from a doer to a manager, which can be a hard adjustment for some people. It can be hard to distinguish between being a boss and being a friend to employees. This can happen in 2 ways: being promoted from general worker to manager, going from working with your friends to having to tell them what to do. Or in the sense of a bar manager, as a young manager, it was hard for him to stray away from the pressure of older adults to do what they wanted him to do. As a manager, you have to make sacrifices to do what is best for the company. For example, the manager of Ericsson has to work with countries around the world, and meeting with them can prove challenging with the different time zones. The MLB manager experiences similar things during peak seasons when he sacrifices hours of sleep just to have everything ready for the players. Not every employee is going to cooperate every day, and it is the manager's job to deal with it. Every manager will make mistakes, but what separates an average manager and a successful one is admitting you made a mistake, learning from it, and growing.
The second thing we wanted to look at when looking at a small versus a large firm was looking at the challenges. As a manager, was looking at the challenges between a small and larger firm. The first point we came up was managing a large firm versus a small firm. There's a lot of personal interaction with there's not a lot of personal interactions with managers for customers and employees. Our first example is in the case of for the Dunkin' Donuts manager. If there is a customer complaint in the store, even if they called the store, the customer could deal directly with the managers themselves, and would feel potentially more respected as a customer to voice their complaint. The second example is for the manager of the baseball clubhouse. He said because of his job, he's had the opportunity to meet with plenty of famous baseball players who are his customers, which established a personal relationship between the manager of the clubhouse and the players. Our third example is for the test manager at the international company Sony Ericsson. He has no real personal connection with his superiors, for he has no voice in business decisions. Rather, he is just given instructions and then assigned certain jobs for his employees. This bugs John because he is used to working in a small company where everyone's opinions and ideas for the company were put into consideration.
Our second point is when managing a small firm, decision-making goes a lot quicker opposed to in a larger firm where there is more senior management positions above a smaller manager of a department. Our first example is for the clubhouse manager. As long as he keeps his customers happy, then he can make decisions whenever they need to be addressed, if urgent or on his own time, because he is the only one that needs to adhere to his daily operations. For the test manager at Sony Ericsson, he has little freedom in what he must accomplish in a day based on higher management decisions. The only freedom he has in deciding which tasks to take on himself and which to assign to his employees.
Our third point is when managing a larger group of people versus only a few employees, you have to trust your employees that they won't compromise their duties when you're not around to supervise. Our first example is in the case of the student bar manager. Without the 42 employees and one being the only bar manager, it would be easy for a bouncer to allow someone underage into a bar if there was if the manager was not around. Therefore, the manager must choose employees who he can trust when choosing who to give responsibilities to. Our second example is in the case of the test manager who has 30 employees. He must trust that his employees will conduct tests properly and without bias when he is not there. The employees might know the creator of a certain product being tested, and it might change the results of the test to benefit themselves. Vice versa, our third example is in the case of Dunkin' Donuts manager, who has 8 employees in a small work environment. It's easy to keep an eye on all the employees at once in order to stop them from potentially giving away free products or discounts.
Depending on the company, cultures differ tremendously. This makes the way managers operate different from firm to firm. A company's organizational culture is defined by many different factors, including observable aspects, values and beliefs, and basic underlying assumptions. Based on these factors, you can distinguish what kind of culture a company has. For example, in the bar in Dunkin' Donuts, managers work very closely not only with employees, but also with customers. So the manager has to create a laid-back culture so it looks good to the customers as well as their employees. This is what is referred to as a communal culture, where employees are very friendly and work in similar ways to achieve a common goal. They are also both customer service-focused cultures, trying to give their customers the best service possible.
As for the minor league clubhouse manager, he also had a communal culture that was influenced by collaborative work with his employees, and he had to create a culture in the clubhouse that was influenced by the attitudes and demeanors of the professional athletes that he had to serve. So a lot of the observable artifacts, such as like language, slang in baseball, that was a really big thing in the culture of that clubhouse, because he had to be able to communicate with the players the right way so that they felt that they were working with somebody who understood them and not some random person that didn't know anything about the needs that they may need fulfilled. And as for the Sony Ericsson Wi-Fi product test manager, he had to create more of a networked culture that was influenced by highly motivated individuals who were they didn't work a lot together, because they had a lot of individual work that was technical and didn't require a lot of creativity or collaboration. But it worked because their work required them to have a lot of knowledge about what they were doing, and they had to have a lot of education prior to that. So the jobs that they were doing did not require them to work together a lot, so the managers still did an effective job. And in conclusion, a successful manager will create a culture that is most conducive to success in that business or industry. So it will vary among the different businesses or industries that a manager may be in. And I guess
That's all we got.
that's all we have.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.